You know, when Meghan Markle made that really strange veiled threat about, no NDAs and all that sort of stuff, do you remember that? And everybody was like, oh, you would have thought that the royal family may have tied her down to an NDA, but why would they? There was a woman apparently who was ready to give up everything, to go and join the royal family, couldn't wait to get stuck in, as she said to Michelle Hussein, in that now, well, orchestrated reality interview that she spoke about in her own docu-series. It's a bit like the house fire, isn't it, with Prince Archie? You chip away, and the bottom line is there wasn't a house fire, there was nothing at all, but the dramatics. I think she's missed a way, she should have been a scriptwriter on one of those soap operas. What outlandish plot can you come up with this week, Meghan? Quite a lot, so it seems. But it's interesting to note, isn't it, that as Prince Harry's book has now tailed off, they're literally offering it at a third, and that normally happens, I'm not being negative, after a year on the shelves, but normally also they would have had a paperback edition, and apparently there are problems with that because Harry wants to do certain things in the paperback and they're not too keen on it, and there's legalities and all that sort of stuff. There's an ongoing battle, trust me, at Penguin Random House right now, not as simple as you first might think. But what I do find fascinating is the fact that, of course, this perpetual story that keeps coming around, basically claiming that Meghan herself, oh yes, she really, well, she was going to do a tell-all book, and apparently Harry stopped her. What's the true story? As ever, let me explain. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lovely to see you on a bit of a brighter spot right now. A nice bit of free vitamin D. I know I often say that, but it's important, isn't it? The cost of living crisis, you've got to get everything out you can. I love the fact, by the way, that you love that I notice things are just shrinking all the time, I got some, I tell you, I think I've said this to you before, I think the designer of these packages and foods and stuff that we all buy, they should get an award, I bought some ham the other day, and it looked quite luscious, on the packet. And then when you get it down, you think, goodness, you need to pin it down with a skewer. That thin, I could see my own Formica kitchen table top underneath, you know what I mean? You think, really? Wouldn't block out light. It's incredible what they do, isn't it? But, it's the world we live in. It's a little bit like the world that Meghan Markle lives in, because, as I said, the big story was that she was going to write this memoir. And we told you that certain particular publishers were, interested, but they might want to see some sort of, evidence, perhaps 3 chapters. Ooh, that was balked at very quickly. No, there's no way Meghan was going to do any work. You just were taking her on the title, and then perhaps, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, you might just, give her the money. Don't laugh. Spotify did, Netflix did. Why wouldn't a publisher? After all, they got Prince Harry. Penguin have backed off this, let me tell you, because they've seen just how popular the bench was. And so, of course, they've decided, no thanks. We tested that water. It didn't work exactly well. But how true is it about Harry banning the book? And more importantly, where is it with the book? Well, the simple thing is this, that actually there's no appetite from publishers, because every story has been debunked, and now what people are more interested in, and this is where Meghan and Harry should be very fearful, is to try and get a collective of ex-employees to communise together, to get together with a ghostwriter detailing the life of what it was like working under the direction of Archewell. Some people may say this is just literally bullying or picking on or whatever. This is a generic story of our time. Harry and Meghan have done their very best to remain private in their own enclave. But of course, when you've treated people, and as ever we have to say allegedly, perhaps not in the best form, then maybe they just want their version of events out. I mean, we saw that, didn't we, with the alleged bullying claims, People were very unhappy, and they found a way, thanks to that book and the author, to get an element of their story out at least. For now, though, there is literally, as I say, no demands from Harry to do a book. No, he's not, you wouldn't want somebody standing on his starlight, and there's really no appetite, quite frankly, from a publisher to offer the sort of money that Meghan and Harry truly would require. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.